Hey, welcome back to Sound and Details, and this is the second part of coloring your sound. I want to take off this video exactly on the end point of the first part, but this time I'm using a different track. So I applied the exact same process that we seen on the first video that you can check out over here somewhere, and basically it's doing a very good gain stage, go through a distortion phase, then having an effects on it to create some more movement or transitions, and then EQing and compressor that is transparent. And what you are hearing right now, it is exactly this this process. And one thing that I really love to do is, I'm not gonna say break things up, but take a little bit of experimentation and do things out of the conventional to make my sound more interesting and add that extra color. So we're gonna dive into a very specific piece that I've added to my setup, that I've been looking at it for quite a long time, and it really confirms what I expected and what I wanted. And let me show you what it is. So it is a Chroma Console here from the Hologram guys. So as usual, I have my process here going, drums, bass line, all that stuff. The pad is coming from here, the synth line is coming from the sizzle, sequenced by the Oxy 1. Everything is going through the same chain, okay? And then we arrive here. And what is my goal with the Chroma Console? This already sounds quite good. The Chroma Console is, I like to call it a multi-effects end-of-chain pedal, but also a multi-effect, all-around, fuck up your sound pedal. And the way that I want to use this is exactly on the end of chain, because it allows me to do very cool stuff. The two main things here is, first one is to glue even more and add more character to my sound by using normally the character and texture, but we're also gonna see that diffusion can also help on that, and also have an extra end of chain effect that I normally use the metaphor, but also have here so that I can play and I can apply another kind of effects, which in my opinion I like to mix various different stuff to achieve my sound. So let me put here a more complete sound. So this will be more or less how the track will go in, I wouldn't say on a full mode, but it's more composed, okay? Here a little bit more. And here, the synths that I like a lot working. So let's focus on to here. First part is texture. For me, and I think this is a good rule of thumb, it's adding texture, adding character to your sound really makes it pierce through the sea of tracks that exist, and also enables you to sculpt your own sound. So for me, the character is very intrinsic with how you do music. Let's turn this on. Let's pull up this. I'm using the squash, which is like a compressor that breaks things a little bit. We are here, and you'll hear the bass line humph and a little bit more of clarity. This for me, it's like the final touch that I will apply on a normal chain. Sure, you can do crazy stuff, for example. Which honestly, I like a lot this broken algorithm here. It adds this aliasing on the back that is very cool in my opinion. It reminds me of old shitty mixers and effects that's going on. You have the interference 1, but it adds a lot of movement. But it's cool. Let's go to cassette. It's like a broken, fucked up cassette all over. This one I think really works for independent sounds, but for me, it's a mix between squash and broken that really makes my sound go. So I'll say around here is the place to be. And now character, I will say it's my second stage of distortion, saturation, overdrive. Let's turn it on. I've been using this swell algorithm here because, let me put it off. What it does is something very interesting, and I think it's kind of a cheat code which adds movement to your sound. So it reads the sound like an envelope follower and applies a kind of saturation and volume to your sound that adds a lot of movement. Something that I really appreciate on music because it makes it less static. At the same time, it adds warmth to the sound. So let's hear it. You have this extra warmth on the sound, but you'll also notice there's a subtle movement in this. See, there's like this movement going on, which is one of the reasons that I might use a compressor, other than a clean compressor like the nano modules. It is to add movement. You can make this brighter, darker, but since we are using this one to apply to the full mix, I want it more neutral over here, maybe a little bit onto the dark bass side. So after doing this, I will consider that in terms of mix down, in terms of sound characteristics and sound quality, it's there. And again, I will say this a lot of times. I think it's really important that you find a character to your sound. The character that you will print in your sound will make it sound yours. It will be your fingerprint in a way. And having a fingerprint on your own music that is identifiable in all of your tracks, even if they sound different and have different ways of working, it's quite important for leaving your own mark. I think this way. It might be wrong, it might be correct. I like to think this way. I don't think it's a bad thought. I think it allows me to actually experiment and try to bring the best that I can of my ideas. Let's dive into the Chroma Console again. So, now there's two things here. I normally go to the movement one to add an effect. Like, for example, I love the phaser. Like, for me, dubby techno like this reads phaser, which... Who doesn't love a phaser? It's awesome. There's more effects here that you can apply. A tremolo. You can tap this if you want. Again. You have your pitch. Full craziness. How to fuck up a sound really well. This one for sure works much better onto single sounds. The doubler. Which honestly, I at a much lower amount rate, the doubler can actually add quite a lot of a cool character, where if you hear, focus on the kick and the bass line now. But it adds an extra groove to the thing, which is very cool. The vibrato. Typical one. But for me, the phaser. It's a typical dub techno thing. And when I don't want it anymore, just bring it off. And then the diffusion here, it's more reverb, delay kind of effects. So here more modulation effects. Let's start by the beginning. And what I'm doing here, let me turn it off. What I'm doing here basically, it's the same process that I will apply when I'm doing music, which is experiment, see where it goes. Don't be afraid of breaking things. Embrace breaking things, because you'll find cool ways to add movement, character, texture to your sounds with just tiny bits of details in this. So let's turn this on. We have the cascade here. In tiny doses, it has a cool effects on tiny doses. In this particular track, I don't think I want this, because this is opening the track even wider, and I don't want the track as wider as this. But for example, if you have a very mono track, very deep, dark track, this will be a cool one to open your sound, just a tiny amount. Don't go like, if you do this, no sense. And we have the reels here. Reels is one that is doing tape. It has the dropouts and everything like that. The whoa and the fluters, all that thing going on. I mean, I could use this one for the final mix. See, it adds this texture, like this washiness behind it, which I really like it a lot. But sometimes what you need is just a little tiny bit. And something important, as you can see here, I'm using this like as a parallel effects at 50%, not full mix. But I like this, because if my track was a little bit dull, this will add movement to the tracks. You have space, which it does something that I really love about sending a reverb to a full mix. And in this particular track, I'm gonna leave the space on later on. But what you can hear is that it opens the track, but at the same time it's like a little bit of lush reverb kind of effects. So it adds texture without opening the sound too much. And it adds that kind of noise dirt on the back that is not annoying. And I like that a lot. It reminds me the old school process of having your shitty mixer, like your Mackie CR12 or whatever. And for some reason you left your old shitty pedal, reverb pedal there, and you sent everything to the pedal and you get this crunch. I like this a lot. Collage. This is a delay kind of effects that works better for single sounds in my opinion. Kind of takes a part, loops it, then adds up another part. It's very cool effects. Unless you want to do something that has an extra groove, like see here what is happening. A part of the sound, because of the amount, it's like looping. It is cool, but it's not what I search for this kind of track. But it's good to have the option. And then you have the reverse. Which of course I could apply this as an effects like I will do with the movement, but here I want to use this to even add more character to my music. So honestly, here will be space. And then there we go. So yeah, I'm in love with this thing. This is a lot more than I showed you here. I'm gonna show you this in more videos because this is a piece that I wanna really use. But yeah, get out of the norm, go crazy, add a full reverb to your mix, squash it, apply other distortion on top of a distortion, whatever whatever you wanna do. So, I hope you really enjoyed this second part, short one for sure, but key take here, don't be afraid to experiment, don't be afraid to go out of the book, out of the box, out of your mindset, but experiment. It's doing those experiments, trying to apply unconventional effects to a sound, in my case a full mix, that you'll find ways to create your unique sound. And for me, one thing that is really important when you're doing music, it's create your own stuff. Sure, get inspired by others. I'm inspired by others all the time, but I try to do my thing. I try to create my own process. I try to find ways that I like what I hear, because that's the most important thing, but experiment and find and take that journey into finding your character, your particular details in the music that you like, that maybe only you hear it, and others might not even appreciate it, but for you, it will help in your creative process. This is really important. It's small tasks, small details that gives you happiness on what you're doing. It doesn't matter much what others will think about it. It matters much more what you feel, and that gives you fun and pleasure doing it. Well, once again, thanks for joining me. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me immensely keeping up doing this. Check my website, 1000details.com, which is the link to my own sample shop. You'll have loop packs, one-shots, presets for synthesizers there at a very affordable price. I might do a Black Friday discount there. Let's see how it goes. And most of all, keep having fun, keep going crazy, fuck the norms, just embrace the sound and be happy. Until the next one, see you around.